Hello everyone, I'm Baron Baptiste, and welcome to My MS Yoga Foundations. This is a basic building block yoga practice. It will empower you to work with whatever level of experience you have, whatever you're feeling on this day. I want you to take care of yourself, modify or challenge yourself. This feels healthy. So welcome to each of you. Happy to be here with you. And let's begin by centering ourselves a bit. So lie down onto your back. Just stretch out, arms alongside your body. Stretch your legs out in front of you. And just take a deep rest here for a moment. Take a deep breath in and just a deep breath out. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then one more, full breath in so you feel and we could see your chest and belly expanding, and a deep breath out. And then gently bring the soles of your feet together. So touch your feet, the bottoms of your feet. Let your knees splay outward. This is called Restful Butterfly. And so here, just be restful. Put your whole life on a shelf for right now. And just give yourself some space here to create a whole new energy. Gently bring your knees together. Bring your knees up into your chest. Squeeze your knees in. Just release your low back here for a moment. And then lift your head and your shoulders off of the floor. And you can use your legs as leverage to pull upward. Now extend your right leg forward. And hold your left knee. And make energy in your toes. Good. Yeah, and the right leg off the floor. If you need to bring it to the floor, that's good, Jan. Do that. Now lift your head up off of the floor. And breathe here. Just breathing, breathing. Now bring your right heel down to the floor. Bring your head to the floor. And take a twist. Twist it over. And then take your left ear toward the floor. Now just rinsing. Can you create a sensation of rinsing your back, the muscles in your pelvis? It's like rinsing a sponge. And then gently come back to center. And take both knees into your chest. Take both knees in. Give a squeeze. Now extend your left leg forward. Extend your left leg forward. Keep it off of the floor because that will really empower your core. We want to fire up the core. Lift your head and shoulders up off of the floor now. And deep breathing here. Deep breathing. Energy in your feet. Good. You can flex your feet. Good, Lynn. Extend your arms forward for a moment. Challenge yourself here. Maybe lift your head and shoulders a little bit higher. So you're challenging yourself, but with compassion, right? Now slowly bring your head and shoulders to the floor. Bring your left heel to the floor and take a twist. Just twist over. Again, maybe take your right arm out like a wing. Look to the opposite side, the right side here. And again, the pose, it doesn't have a right way. The right way is by what you're feeling. So you're really feeling the sensation. You'll know when to go a little further, when to stop, when to say when. So really being present to your body's sensations here, making the connection between mind, body. Make the connection to the breath. Then come to center. Bring both knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Now rock and roll up and back. If you can, just keep rocking and rolling, swinging away. That's good. Massaging your back. Now come up to a seated position. And what I'm going to have you do is actually come onto your knees. And if this hurts to come on your knees, then I'm going to give you another option. But right now, we're going to take hero's pose. So you want to take the block, and you're going to sit on the block. You want to bring the knees toward each other and your feet apart. So the block goes lengthwise. And bring your knees together. Your feet are to the outside of your hips. Good. And bring your hands to your chest center. Now, if this hurts your knees, then maybe you could just take a seated position. Why don't you do that, Matt, where you bring your legs forward, cross your ankles, sit on the block. And nice. And that feels good to you, Jan? And just take your shoulders back so you really open up your chest. Then take your arms up to the sky. Just really stretch. Now we're going to take what's called eagle arms to open our shoulders and chest and back. Take your right arm underneath your left arm. And you'll want one hand higher than the other hand. And you'll lift your arms way up to the sky. And you want to look forward, never upward in this, just forward. And take your shoulders back and lift your elbows up as high as they can go. And one hand is much higher than the other here. And deep breathing. And then releasing your arms up to the sky. And take your left arm underneath your right arm. Good. Perfect. Awesome, Lynn. And again, one hand will be higher than the other hand, and then you'll lift your elbows pretty high. Push your wrists forward a little bit. And then deep breathing. Deep breathing. Yeah, just relaxing, not trying hard, but feeling nice. Opening through your back, opening through your shoulders, and then take your arms up to the sky. Good. Then bend your right elbow and catch the right elbow with your left hand and pull it behind your head. And just give yourself a nice stretch here. You feel a release through the right side of the body, right side of the shoulder. Create your own release here, your own stretch here, your own opening here. Now bring breath here, deep, deep breathing. So the breath really adds a beautiful dimension to what we're doing here. Now take both arms up to the sky. Take your left arm behind your head. Pull the arm back. And just give yourself a deep release. Not forcing. Again, there's effort. So there is a kind of trying, an efforting. But not trying hard where you're creating a strain. More ease, more relaxed effort, a relaxed action, maybe going a little bit further, and then lift your arms up to the sky. Good. Reach up, and then bring your hands to your chest center, and then you'll bring your hands to the floor. You'll come to your hands and knees. So you can remove the block and come to your hands and knees and bring your hands shoulder width distance apart, and like as if there were sunshine coming through your hands. You want to spread every finger, every knuckle into the floor. Look at your knees, bring them just a hip width distance apart. Good. And then take some what we call cat tilt. So you'll arch your back like an angry cat. You'll round your back. You'll arch. Look up to the sky. Tilt your tailbone to this high, and then you'll round, and you'll arch, and you'll round. That's it, Matt. Arch, and look up, and then arch, round your back, and then lift your knees now to downward facing dog with your spine as straight as you can. Okay, good. Now take your right leg up to the sky. And again, you're really pressing through both hands, so your hands are flat, like pancakes, flat into the floor. Lift your upper leg. If you can keep the upper knee straight, make energy in your toes. You're not asleep up in your feet, but awake in both feet. Lift your lower heel if you can. Can you lift it a little bit? And then press the lower heel down, if that's an option. If you bring your right foot down to the floor, right foot down. If you need to take your knee down, that's awesome, Jen. Take your left leg up to the sky. And then breathing here. Make energy again in the upper foot. Now take your lower heel up to the sky, if you can. Lower heel way up. And then bring your lower heel back down. Bring your upper foot back down to the floor. Now bring both heels up to the sky. And then press both heels down. Good. Then bring your knees down to the floor slowly to child's pose. So you'll take your knees wide toward the outer edges of your mat. Bring your head to the floor. And just take a moment here to take rest. So child's pose, this pose that you're taking right now, is always here for you. So just know, at any point in the practice, you're feeling tired or you feel like you just need to regroup, come back to your breathing, come here. This is always here for you. So come back up onto your hands and knees now. And you'll bring your left foot flat to the floor behind you. So you're going to flatten your left foot. Maybe you can straighten your back left leg and send it behind you. And then you'll take your left arm up to the sky for side plank pose. Take it up, left arm up to the sky. Good, and deep breathing, and you're extending. That's awesome. Just opening your chest, roll back a little bit. Then bring your upper hand to the floor. Bring your left knee back down to the floor. And then same thing on the other side. You'll extend your right leg behind you. You want your right leg straight. Take your right arm up to the sky. And then deep breathing. Good, deep breathing, deep breathing. You're just opening up. You can lean back a little bit, pressing through the lower arm, extending through the upper arm. Relax every muscle in your face. And take the upper hand to the floor. Bring your right knee back down to the floor. And then come back to downward facing dog pose. So you'll lift your knees up off of the floor. And then simple movement here. Walk your feet forward to your hands. And take your feet apart toward the outer edges of your mat. So you'll go really wide with your feet and bend your knees quite a bit. And you'll just bend forward. You'll hang forward with your knees bending and your feet parallel. So Missy, just bring your heels out a little bit, feet parallel. And then like a rag doll, you just hang forward, hang forward. Bend the knees even more. That's it. So you almost are allowing the torso to be, like draping over the legs forward. And then gently, and that's awesome, Jan. So you can do this from the chair with the knees wide. You just feel a really great release through the spine, the muscles on the back. Then very gently, you'll come up to standing. You can roll up to standing. Jan, you can come up to sitting, whatever works for you. Okay, good. So now we're going to move into a sun salutation. And so come from a sense of your own inner brightness, an inner yes. Just stand in a way that gives you power right now. Take your shoulders back, connect into your feet, come into your breathing. And just set your eyes. Just find a spot, maybe at the horizon, at that level, and just let your eyes relax. Just come into a deep breath flow here, deep breath flow. And then take a deep breath out here, and then reach your arms up to the sky. Just open up and root down through your feet and legs to reach even higher. And then bring your hands back to your chest center. Bend your knees and fold forward. You'll bend, you'll fold your hands to the floor, and then lift halfway up. So you're working toward a straight spine, not jamming your neck. Just lead with the crown of your head. Yeah, that's awesome, Debbie, just like that. And then bring your hands to the floor and step back to a high plank position. So you'll come to like a high push-up onto your hands, onto your feet. You could take your knees to the floor as you need to here. Actually, take your knees to the floor now. Let's do that. Bring both knees down. Immediately gets easier. And then bend your elbows, and you'll lie down. And then you'll scoop your chest forward into a cobra. And breathe here. Just deep breathing here. And so think of taking, and then get really active in taking your shoulders toward your back. You're taking your shoulders back, you're taking your chest forward, you're pressing through both feet, and then straighten your arms and lift your chest a little bit more. Breathe in, and then come back onto your knees. So you'll straighten your arms onto your knees, tuck your toes to downward facing dog pose again. Good. Now look forward and step your right foot forward toward your hands. And take as big of a step as you can. Maybe you even just take several steps to take your leg forward. You're working toward bringing your front knee over your heel. Now, simple movement here. Come to standing and bring your hands up over your head to a lunge. You'll stand straight up. Now, you may want to use a chair. That's awesome, Jan. You have the option of bringing your back knee to the floor and bend your front knee just as much as you can. Set your eyes to one spot. Find your balance. Come into deep, deep breathing. I'm going to have you hold on to this. And then bring your hands to your chest center. And then slowly bring your hands to the floor, to a high push-up position, high plank again. Bring your knees to the floor here and just take your time. Bend your elbows and you'll lie down onto your mat again. Now scoop your chest forward for cobra. So you're keeping your arms, your elbows bent, but just giving yourself a nice release through your upper back, taking your shoulders back. Stay in your breathing, scooping your tailbone down. Lift your chest a little bit higher, just opening up to a bigger stretch, bigger breath. And then come back onto your knees to downward facing dog pose again. Good. Now step your left foot to your hands. And again, you may need to take several steps. Missy just got into one big step. It's awesome. But stack your front knee over your ankle. Bring your back knee to the floor as you need to. So you just modify here as you need to. Then come up to a lunge. And then you'll bring your chest over your hips, then your arms to the sky, and then maybe look up and take it backward a little bit. And then bring your hands to your chest center and pause here. Balance, breathing, keeping your focus, your eyes to one point. Then slowly bring your hands to the floor, to your high plank position. Then bring your knees to the floor. Then bring your chest and hips to the floor. So you'll lie down. And then scoop your chest up to cobra again. And breathing here, take a deep breath in, and we'll flow right back onto your knees. Tuck your toes to downward facing dog pose. Awesome. Take a deep, deep breath in. And take a sigh, ha, ha. And just open it up. No one here cares. And here's an opportunity to let go of some steam, some stress. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Ha, ha, a sigh. And walk to the front of your mat. Walk forward and catch your hips. Bring your hands to your hips, or you could press your hands to your thighs and come up to standing. Push through your legs to come up. Just stand again here in your power. Root through your feet. Feel your feet. Open through your chest. Have a sense now of possibility. A new possibility in your balance. And so we'll take airplane pose, and you just want to be natural here. Be true. So not doing more than you should. But just start slow, and let's see where we go, okay? So start to shift your weight now into your left leg, and take your shoulders back here. Open your chest, big and bright, from an inner yes, and then begin to take your right foot off of the floor and behind you, and begin to move forward with your chest. So again, an airplane here, you are balancing by integrating your whole body. So shoulders back, chest open. You're breathing, deep breathing. The balance comes from your concentration. Now slowly bring your right foot back to your left foot. Come back up to standing. Awesome. Awesome work, you guys. The chair is working. You can use a wall. Now begin to shift your weight into your right leg. Center your eyes. Set your eyes. Then begin to take your left leg back and begin to move forward with your chest. Come into deep breathing, and you're just flying now, like an airplane, flying high above it all. This is a whole new point of view, developing your balance, but from a lightness, a joyfulness, and then gently come back up to standing. Good work. Now just centering here again, really get a sense of being on both feet in an empowered way. You're connected to your strength right now. And then we'll take tree pose. So one more balance pose here. Again, maybe use a chair, use a wall, or on your own freestanding, you'll bring your left hand to your left hip, and you'll take your left shoulder back. You want to really take your left shoulder back, and then lift your right foot and bring it to the inner left thigh. If you want to do that with the help of your right hand, do that. If your hands are freestanding, bring your hands to your chest into what we call Namaskara. If you have one hand free, you could take one hand to your chest center. And this just has a nice way. This is called a yoga mudra. And this hand position has a nice way of just centering, giving you a sense of your spine, your center. And from the center, balancing your vision, your breathing, and then releasing. Good work. Let's do the other side. So right hand to your right hip. Take your right shoulder back. Again, soften your eyes. Let this be a meditation, a relaxation in action. Lift your left foot now and bring it to the inner right thigh, or you could bring the right foot to the inner ankle. Your toes of the left foot could be at the floor even. And then just set your eyes and you balance. Deep, deep breathing. And that's awesome, Lynn. You started with the chair and you moved toward just a centered, integrated balancing. This is just like a retraining of your mind-body connection. That's awesome. Just smile. If you fall out, just be light about it and just begin again. Okay, and release, release. Yeah, falling out of balancing poses are a part of learning them. And so you just want to be totally okay. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's not about doing it right. It's, be playful. Have fun with this. And make it a learning experience and a learning opportunity. Now slowly step to the very front of your mat and take a deep breath out here. And then reach your arms up to the sky. You can glance up if you like. Big breath in. Bring your hands back to Namaskara at your chest center. Bend your knees and bow forward. Fold forward. Good. And just bring your forehead toward your shins. Hug in. Maybe move your hips forward for a deep release of your hamstrings, maybe into your Achilles. And then hands down and step back to a high plank position, high push-up. So arms straight. And pull your lower belly in from core. Take a deep breath in here. Now I'm going to challenge you. You can bring your knees down, but maybe like Missy and Lynn and Debbie and other Lynn and Matt, you could begin lowering to a low push-up, bending your elbows, and then hovering for some strength, and then you lie down. Awesome. Now, the floor is very tempting, isn't it? It's like, oh my gosh, I've worked hard, and I just want to lie down. But we're not quite done. So let's finish. This next series, we're going to open your back, strengthen the muscles of the back and the pelvis. It's really beautiful opening, stretching, flexibility work. So stay in the game here. Bend your right knee. Take your right hand to your right foot for bow. We call this half bow. Now your left hand, maybe an elbow, bring to the mat, but in front of your chest. And you can work, straighten the arm, do whatever works for you here. But you begin to, so you're balancing and supported, but begin to press your right leg back and lift the knee up so you get a stretch, maybe through the front of the pelvis, through the back muscles. Maybe you get a stretch through the chest and shoulder. Stay in your breathing. And then gently releasing. And you'll change arms. So right forearm to the mat, bend your left knee, catch your left foot. Begin pressing through the shin, rising through your chest, playing the edge. I like that, Jan. You're just catching your pant leg, and that works. And so essentially, you just want to do here what works, It's awesome. And you're breathing. An option is also using a strap, only if it works. Does that work for you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can use a strap, use a block, again, whatever it takes so that you be successful in moving, breathing, shifting your body from one point to a new point of being. Now releasing this foot and gently come onto your knees and hands again. Hands and knees, tuck your toes, and come to downward facing dog pose. Deep, deep breathing here. Lift your heels up to the sky. Again, let's just release the Achilles tendons here, the ankles, the backs of the legs. Then press both heels toward the floor. And once more, lift them up to the sky and bring them down toward the floor. Now, simple movement. Walk halfway up your mat, just halfway up. You could bend the knees to do that, and then bring your knees to the mat. What you're going to do here is sit down. So whatever it takes for you to sit down with your hands behind you. You'll sit down with your hands behind you, and you'll bring your feet flat in front of you. Good. And you'll cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So I would take your hands further back with your fingers facing the back wall. Turn your hands, it'll be more comfortable. You could bend your elbows as you need to. Then action in your front foot, your feet, both feet active, some flexion, some energy in the feet, and breathing here. Turn your fingers to face the back wall, like that. There you go, good. That's awesome. Okay, good. Now, you're getting maybe some release to your pelvis, and maybe you go a little bit deeper. You take your chest toward your leg a little bit more, but you're really in your breath flow. You're feeling, connecting to the sensation of your body, and really listening to what your body says. Let your body be your guide. Let the breath create new pathways into the body and moving energy around, you know? So, slowly now take your right leg to the floor, straight though, and maybe take it out to the side a little bit. And then if you can take your left foot, like you did in tree pose earlier, the bottom of the left foot into your right thigh. So you'll let your left knee drop down. You can bend your knee here, but you're going to fold over your extended front leg. Extended front leg. You can hold the foot, you can hold your ankle. Again, maybe by bending the knee, that allows you to move more fully into the pose. That's awesome, Jan. And Matt, using the strap gives you, well, you know, it's like lengthening your own arms almost, right? And so you can kind of leverage and again, get into the backs of the legs to stretch, to, you know, release some stiffness. We all need this kind of work, just a counterbalance to life also. And then slowly sitting up. And then bring your hands back behind you and bring your feet flat in front of you on your mat. Then you'll take your left foot and bring it over your right thigh. And you'll simply bring your hands behind you. Good, that's awesome. And then stay in your breathing. And you can make this as easy or as challenging as you like. Make energy in your toes. Make your toes active. Good, that works. If you want to intensify, you could walk your hands in closer. You could bring your chest in. But don't go by what I say. So I may say go further, but that may not be what you need right now. So you be your own teacher first, and then listen to me, my suggestions, directions second. Your body, you know, it really speaks in a language that we all understand. It's called sensation. Now, simple movement. Take your top foot, the left foot, out to the floor, extend it straight. Bring your right foot into the inner left thigh. Maybe bend the left knee. And again, we'll take wishbone, half wishbone pose. You could bend your front knee and do it, whatever, use a strap. You just fold over your front leg, coming into a deep breathing flow. So just moving breath into and out of your nose. If it's difficult to breathe through your nose, breathe in through the nose, out through your mouth. But this mindful breathing, this deep breathing, is something that you create, like you make it happen. The breath is something you make happen. You're breathing. Can you have a sense of breathing through your whole body like a cleansing wind through your whole body? Every in-breath, you're taking in new energy. Every exhalation, you're releasing stiffness, tightness. It's just a wonderful intention in your mind, you know? You could take it a little further, but again, only if it feels right, if it feels like a natural next level of movement, of action, and then let's sit up. So just gently sitting up, and you'll take both legs in front of you now for a forward fold, but bring your feet hip-width distance apart. Again, make energy in your toes, and let's bend the knees. So you'll bend your knees just a little bit, and then begin to bend forward. So you're hinging forward from your hips. Yeah, and you can extend your arms. Maybe you can hold your feet, or you could even extend your hands just into the floor, whatever feels natural. Drop your head. There, again, is no right pose. There's you just working with your own body as it is. Do what you can with what you have, and in increments over time, more flexibility, more strength, more connection to your own breathing here. So let's bring more breath. If you could straighten your legs a little more, you could press your thighs toward the floor more, just as feels natural, and then gently sitting up. And then bring your hands behind you and bring your feet flat and take your hips up to the sky. Just one lift up, just a beautiful counter movement. This is like the opposite of sitting, just releasing all of the front of the pelvis, the quadriceps, stretching your back, maybe a little more lift. Last chance, breathe in, and then slowly you come down. Awesome. Now we're coming into a final relaxation called waterfall. So I want this to work for you. A wall is great. A chair is wonderful. What you'll do is you'll bring your hips either close to the front of the chair or bring your hips right up to the wall. Have your block nearby. And if you're going to a wall, you'll bring your legs up the wall. You'll bring your hips right into the wall, legs up the wall. If you're working with the chair, I would just sit right in front of the chair. You could lie down on your back, facing your head that way. And you're going to bring your legs up on the chair. That's perfect. And then you're going to gently, slowly lie down. Bring your head down. Take your time. There's no rush. In yoga, we're actually slamming on the brakes a little bit, I love the smile, Jan. You're just going easy, having fun. You can close your eyes here. This posture is wonderful. Again, you're reversing the flow of gravity, just letting all the circulation, or at least a lot of it, begins to trickle down. That's why we call this pose waterfall. The circulation begins to flow down from the feet, through the legs, through the pelvis, down through your belly, through your chest. Let the flow come down through your shoulders, down through your arms into your hands. Allow the flow to move from your legs, through the belly, through the chest, through your head. And just let go of everything. Hold on to nothing. There's no stress here, no worry here. Sometimes we call yoga a mini vacation. You come to your mat and you just take this series of movements and deep breathing, and it's a timeout from life. It's a timeout where you give to yourself. You give in a way that gives back to you in many ways. You give yourself back to your own energy. So anything in your mind right now, any last thing that you would just like to give up, a worry, a concern, anything that you feel is just like a block or some barrier of a belief, again, a worry, just let it go right now. Why not? And if not now, when? Be more free, more clear, less stress. And then very gently bring your knees into your chest. You can hug the knees in for a moment. Just come into that hug energy. Give yourself a hug because you've given yourself a great gift in this practice, foundations. Now roll to your right side, just coming off of the wall or chair, or wherever you are. Just roll to one side and curl up for a moment here into a fetal position. And just come inward, because in a moment you're going to be coming outward with some new energy. So now gently sitting up from the same side, maybe push your arms down, hands down, to come up to a seated position. And bring your hands to your chest center. Close your eyes for a moment. So again, you can bring your hands into what we call Namaste. And this hand, what we call a yoga mudra, just represents, in yoga, it just represents acknowledging yourself here, for giving yourself a gift, moving, breathing in a new way, and having a commitment to your bigger self, your bigger purpose of health and well-being, inner peace. So take a deep breath in, and thank you very, very much, everyone. Namaste. Awesome work. Thank you. Good work, you guys.